it somewhat well. Sorry, the washing machine is on, so I'm going to turn up the gain and tilt the microphone. Okay, we're going to be very up close. So, yeah, let's just get into it. Already going to preface for anyone who just immediately skips to the end of these videos. I'm guilty of that too. So, I don't blame you. However, I want to point out that these tiers are not necessarily my actual opinions on the books, or it's more about the sentiment, so if you want to hear my opinions, where I recommend it, who I recommend it to, yada yada yada, watch my wrap-ups, because that's where I talk about my opinions on the books a little more. In here I just kind of went with the vibes, so the first tier is I was put on this earth to promote this book. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory, right? I solely exist to promote this book, and you all know which book will go there. If you don't, then I'm sorry, but you're a fake fan. Next up is It's Life is Strange. What did you expect? This tier is just made for that one Life is Strange book that I read, because, well, to be fair, also I'm going to do one quick thing, and that is, okay, we're recording. And that is because I refuse to objectively rate that book, because it's Life is Strange. And we all know how I feel about Life is Strange. Life is Strange is my life. It's my everything. And I am desperate for anything new. So a book that is maybe mediocrely written does not matter to me, because it's Life is Strange. So next up is could write a thesis on this. This could be, I think all of the books that will land here will be somewhat positive thesis, or something that I enjoyed, rather than a thesis in a negative sense. But we could have some books that could be negatively put there, but I'll spare you that. Next up is finally some good fucking food. Books that might not be up there, but I had a great fucking time. Next up is Here for a Good Time, Not a Long Time. Books that I've enjoyed, but perhaps have some issues with, or some things that I did not vibe with as much, but it was not an not enjoyable book. Next up, it's a book. Now, it's not meant as negatively as it might seem. It could be this way, but also it's a book that perhaps, okay, it was alright, but I do not really feel in any particular way for it. Next up is I Am Nothing If Not a Hater. If you know anything about me, you will know that I love being a hater. And the last one is I am uncomfortable with the energy that we created in the studio today. Okay, 5 minutes. Well, let's get started. Sorry if you hear my laptop hyperventilating. Okay, so first up, these are not in the order that I read them. It just got rearranged like this. So, okay, so first up, we have Flawless. You know what? Can we do this? I think we could do this. Okay, I'm going to turn the gain down a little bit then. So first up, we've got Flawless by Elsie Silver. Now, I yet again watch my wrap up, but I believe this is in the September one, September till November. I am an Elsie Silver stan, okay? I will not agree with a lot of opinions on BookTok or BookTube and whatever, because I'm not gonna lie, I dare to say a lot of people are tasteless, in my humble opinion, or easily pleased. But it's not the case with Elsie Silver, okay? I believe that this woman puts crack in her books, and I am addicted, in fact. So Flawless goes right into finally some good fucking food, because yeah, Red did eat, what can I say? So did Summer. Next up, we've got Powerless by Elsie Silver. They somehow, all four of them, I'm already going to let you know. Finally, some good fucking food. Yeah. Honestly, if I'm ever going to be caught with porn outside of my house, in my hands, I hope it's these books. Well, that being said, Heartless, which is the second, Flawless the first, Heartless is the second, Powerless is the third. She goes into finally some good fucking food because even if I would not care about the porn, which I mean, I mediocrely care, I guess, but it's just the way that she writes is so fun. It's genuinely funny. It's not really cringe. The characters are well written. They all feel very good. So yeah, Reckless. Now, if we were to like order these books, like which one I like the most, we might not put them all in one tier. However, Reckless is definitely going into finally some good fucking food. They all did it. What can I say? Now next up, we've got The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Okay, we loved my washing machine going off. Just gotta wait. This is the prequel for Hunger Games about President Snow and his teenagehood and how one situationship messed up a man and men will rather become a dictator than go to therapy. Could write a thesis on this in the best sense. The way, okay, look, it's YA. It's presented on a platter, but I still felt so intelligent, and honestly, it was such a fun time to be seeing his downward spiral because that man, you're just sitting there with your job and be like, no way, like. So yes, I could definitely write a thesis on this. You don't want to see my annotations. If you do, watch my wrap up. But if you want to see like actually my annotations, I can do a flip through because. So yeah, could write a thesis on this. This was a 5-star read. Admittedly, so it might not have been the greatest book, sure, but with the release of the movie and then reading the book and everything, I have the most strong Hunger Games brain rot right now, and everything, all the themes it touches on, unreal. Okay, next up we've got Angel Fall, which is a series I read when I was a kid in the 2012, 2013, like era. If you read books during that time, I think you know what kind of books. And this is a dystopian fantasy series with fallen angels that are antagonists. This was a reread after, I think this is my like third or fourth time reading this book, but the first time I was annotating it. God, wait, okay, now, on one hand, I do want to I was put on this earth to promote this book because if I think I could say that this is my favorite series from that era. Now this is, but like finally some good fucking food. Man, I did not think this through. You can see that I will actually be thinking about this. You know what? Finally some good fucking food. Oops. I'm not gonna say it's the bestest thing ever, but I love it. I love everything about it, okay? Like, she is my baby. She is some good fucking food. I don't think I could write a thesis on this because honestly, I don't think I could. There's the second tier is off limits, and I would promote it, but also I'm kind of gatekeeping, so. Next up, I've got Lord of the Flies by William Golding. Okay, Girly Pop goes into could write a thesis on this. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I had a great time. Is it the bestest book ever written? No. Does it have its flaws? Absolutely. Do I care? I mean, I guess I kind of do, but also no. I love the topics and themes it explores because that's the reason why I read it. And honestly, I had a great time. I was a little worried with it being a classic and kind of older, that mayhaps, it's going to rub me the wrong way, but it has not. But also, women were not mentioned, so God knows if it would rub me the wrong way if we were to talk about women. But yeah, apart from it, I had fun. Sure, it could be better, but also, if she deserves to be here for the ending alone. Next up, I've got the last book in the Chestnut Spring series, Hopeless. Yet again, if we were to rank them on their own, we might have some different tiers, but she goes into finally some good fucking food. I don't even care the way that I was seated, even for the smut. The way that I was seated, the way that I think I held my breath during the bathtub scene, if you know, you know. Okay, 6 of Crows. Now, I don't think it needs promotion because everybody with taste likes this book. Could I write a thesis on this? specifically for this book. Down she goes. And she kind of matches color-wise. Lovely. Now, yet again, watch my wrap-up. It's in my September till November wrap-up. I gave this a lower rating. Not horribly low, but lower because I think also I'm not the target audience. It might be Odessa Moshfek's writing style that is not really my cup of tea. But also, with this book, I was indeed uncomfortable, but not in a good way. Like, I read it because unhinged women, I wanted unhinged women, and I did get one. But also, she was not really unhinged in a way that I wanted to. Like, I could stomach Eileen. I could forgive her a lot of things, but also, at times, I was like, I cannot cope with you anymore, baby girl. I really cannot. And the book touches on very serious topics, but I would like the book for that, though I think we should have honed it a little harder because, I don't know, I feel very strongly about the topic and themes explored in this book. The main thing, check the trigger warnings. I think it's worth it, but at least for me, there was just too much ambiguous talk of Eileen. She works in a juvenile prison, and she also talks in lengths about how she's unwanted by men, and then kind of speaks about the boys in the prison, and none of it is fully saying that she's attracted to them, but it's towing this very weird territory. And that scene with the glass and Leo, or what was his name? If you know, you know. So yeah, she goes down there. It's not a horrible book, and it's definitely not anything horribly concerning, but it was just towing the line for me a little too much. If We Were Villains is next, and I'm not even going to. I was put on this earth to promote this book. She's everything to me. This book has reached a point where I am unable to talk objectively about it. I feel viscerally for this book. I think about them every single fucking day. I hear those songs that I was listening to when reading this book, and I'm transported back in time. This book owns me, okay? I think it took a piece of my soul. And I don't really want it back. No, thank you. Next up is Fantastic Land by Mike Butzkoven, or how would their name be pronounced? Now, I think I could either write a thesis on this or finally some good fucking food. You know what? I think it's quite no-name book. Or not no-name, but I don't really hear people talk about it. But for me, I think I could write a thesis on this. It essentially is. I know that I'm not really talking about a plot of these books, so if you want plots, I'm sorry, but we cannot be here for too long. I cannot shut up. But since this is a no-name book, I'm gonna just mention it. It essentially is an interview style book of this natural disaster, hurricane that trashes the west coast, no, east coast, I believe. And Fantastic Land is an amusement park where a lot of the employees get trapped during the hurricane, and they should have enough resources to be fine. So when the National Guards, or whatever they're called, come there a few weeks after the disaster because they had lots of other things to deal with, they were supposed to be kind of taken care of for the time being. They found an absolute massacre, dead bodies, bones littering gift shops, heads on spikes and shit like that. And it's a fucking murder scene. And essentially, the author, there's not a single page where the author would acknowledge anything. Every single word written is written either from the point of view of the interviewer, Jake, I believe his name was, or something like that, or the participants, the interviewees. So it essentially interviews either the employees, the kids that were, because there was mostly teenagers that took part in these tribe segregations and in the killings and stuff like that, or other employees. And honestly, it talks about what drives a human to do these things, and a part of it that, as much as we are hungry for information and details on like such tragic accidents, it just sometimes there's no answer for things, and it's so interesting to see the different perspectives and all of that. So I highly, highly, highly recommend this book. I wanted to say something, but I forgot. No, I don't remember. I'm sorry. Okay, next up is Lie With Me by Philip Besson. Could write a thesis on this. Hear me out. I'm going to mention that I may not like quite a few things about this book, or I just wasn't vibing with it the way that I hoped that would be. But for example, I did not like the main character as much, and I did not really care about his like life afterward and whatever. But Philippe's main character's relationship with Thomas is so, I'm not gonna say heartfelt, but very heart-wrenching, and their story in general. And honestly, like, I could write a thesis on this for Thomas's story alone. Like, that thing had me sobbing, and it will forever solidify such high rating that I gave this book, even if I did not like so many other things, because I feel like it could be so relatable to so many queer people, and I think it tells important things. And also, I think a few days ago I saw like a quote from this book supposedly on Instagram that was like kind of really hitting, and I was like, did I just forgot about this? Did I just forgot what was in that? What that was in English? Did I just forget? So I could write a thesis on this. So next up we got Red, White, and Royal Blue. Now the thing is, I should put it in. I was put on this earth to promote this book. I should, but do I ever promote it? Not really, because this book does not need promotion. It's got all the hype, rightfully so. And I could easily write a thesis on this, easily. But let's do it. I was put on this earth to promote this book because I'm gonna sneeze. God, I was right. I spoke truth. I discovered, let's be honest, however, the content is very important to me. Maybe more than just the plot, because it's a little cheesy, a little, ridiculous, but also, would it really be groundbreaking if something like that happened, But, the way that I feel for Alex and Henry, and the way that I just came to love everyone in the book, and I felt, now, from the books that I've read, either this year or like back in the day, I don't think I ever really found a character that I could relate to the way that I related to Alex. Well, he's obviously extroverted and I'm not. I related a lot to him when it comes to, being very passionate about certain things, potentially having ADHD, being too much, feeling like he's too much, like he can't shut up, and just, I feel very, very strongly for Alex, and I would protect him with everything. And also I related a lot with Henry, related to Henry. So yeah, it just means a lot to me. I love their chemistry, I love their story, and if I had to root for a singular couple, it's going to be them. Thank you. Next up I have here I Wish You All the Best by Mason Deaver. Now, you know what? I'm going to put it into here for a good time, not a long time, because I think I mentioned in my August wrap up that I like this book. This book is good. I definitely recommend it as like a mandatory read, because it is a book about a non-binary character, and I think it's very important to kind of showcase, how life feels for certain people who identify as non-binary. I would hope to be able to call myself someone who tries to be mindful of these things, not assume pronouns and stuff like that. It might be minor thing, but yeah, but it still touched on topics that, as someone who never had to question my identity about gender and yada yada yada, would not think of that can play such a big role in somebody's life, like gender clothing sections and stuff like that, not just bathrooms, but like even clothing sections, so I think it's a very important book. It's getting turned she sees that in a van that's parked there that belongs to some people at the rest stop, there's an animal crate, and inside that animal crate is a little girl, like duct taped and like obviously kidnapped, so the main character tries to figure out whose van it is and how to help this little girl. So yeah, it's good, it's quick. I just wasn't like blown away by it, but I definitely enjoyed it. But yeah, it's a book I don't really feel particularly about it. Not negative, positive, it's a good book. I'd recommend it if you like thrillers. And it has a movie as well. The Silent Patient. You know what, I'm going to put it into it's a book. I liked it. I did rate it even higher than No Exit, but I think it's nothing really to write home about, in my humble opinion. Everybody was like, oh my god, the twist at the end was crazy, and well, it's definitely something that I don't think can be really predicted, like from the beginning or even half of the book. At some point I was like, I think this might be it, and I was still like, when it got confirmed, I was like shocked or surprised, sure, but honestly, more than that, I kind of, it's a psychological thriller, I believe, and as a psychology major, I just did not, I think some, like, ethical things were rubbing me the wrong way. Our psychotherapist, okay, it's about a woman that essentially one day, like, she's supposed to have this amazing marriage, right? One day she shoots her husband 6 times in the head and never speaks again, and then she just doesn't speak, and it's been like 6 years, and our main character psychotherapist is like, I'm going to help this woman speak and tell her story. Like, I don't know if he's convinced that she didn't do it or whatever, but yeah, I just like the whole thing that he like chose her rubbed me the wrong way, because that, I don't think that's ethical approach, and like, right, when you're a psychotherapist, to be pick and choosing your patients and stuff like that, and there's just these little tiny things, but it's an enjoyable read, and the plot twist is definitely there, and I think it does not like do a bad name for psychology, or that it would be like cringe or whatever. It actually, I think, uses quite a few good points. Just, yeah, I was not really blown away by it, but I think I gave it like 4 stars. So you see, like, it's a book, but it's 4 stars. I just don't feel anyway. I enjoyed my time with it, but yeah. Next up is Betrayed. Now, please don't. You know what? It's a book, or you know what? Fine. I'm going to put it into here for a good time, not a long time. I love Gus, alright? If I had to choose a man, like a favorite fictional man, for this reading year, I might say Gus. I might, okay. I love him. He's flawless, thank you. The line, sometimes when you sleep, I feel overwhelmed that you exist. Like, when I watch you sleep, I feel overwhelmed that you exist, lives rent-free in my head. I was waiting for that singular line the whole book. I honestly did like his relationship with January and everything. I just think at the end, I was kind of, maybe it was a little too sweet, or just, I don't know, I was not really vibing with January at the end. But I don't regret reading it. You know what, I did have a pretty decent time with it, so yeah. Bunny by Mona Awad. Finally, some good fucking food. I think I expected not to like this, or because I, for some reason, had the consensus that it's badly written or whatever. Honestly, at first I gave it a lower rating. In the end, I changed it to 4 stars because I'm not able to stop thinking about this book. It's a little weird. It's a little unhinged, or maybe a lot unhinged. It feels like an acid trip. You don't know what's real or what's not. There's so many things that you're like, pardon. But on the other hand, I just really can't stop thinking about it, and yeah, it has its flaws, and I could point them out, but I did have pretty good time with it. Yeah, and the audiobook is really good. I did read it, I listened to the audiobook while reading the physical book as well. Yerba buena, yerba buena. I gave this book 5 stars. Now it's like 4.9, like that's usually find some good fucking food. I was put on this earth to promote this book. I was not, in fact. I love this book and I will cherish it with everything and I will protect it from all of you haters. But I also cannot really tell you like whether you would enjoy it or not. I feel like it's a type of book that if you are into books that focus heavily on the characters that are literary fiction and frankly not much like happens in the books, maybe this will be for you. I don't know, like for me I love this book, but could I write a thesis on it? I honestly think I could. But then again, okay, you know what, we're going to come back to that. I know that might not be the rules, but also I am the rule maker, so anyway, what moves to dead? Finally some good fucking food. This book is short, but I love it. This is a perfect example of I did not once feel like this book was too long or too short. Everything was perfect. I had so much fun. It was eerie, perfect gothic atmosphere. I am foaming at the mouth for the second book, What Feast at Night. Honestly, read this. It's like a retelling inspired by the Fallen House of the Usher by Edgar Allan Poe. Oh, love this book. Love this book. Things we do not tell the people we love. You know what? Finally, some good fucking food. It's a collection of short stories, and honestly, I really, really liked it. I was pretty convinced that I'm not into short stories because, well, simply put, I am someone who cares about characters, and I would rather read, like, get obsessed with characters and then put them in any scenario. Like, we can put them in the goddamn arena in the Hunger Games or like a Regency romance, and I don't care, okay? I love the characters, so I'm seated for them. So in short stories, obviously, I'm not gonna do that. But I had so many moments in this book where I either felt for the writing or I felt like even if the situation was not exactly mine, I could relate to the feelings, and it's got amazing East South Asian and like maybe like Middle East representation, and yeah, it's very, very precious, I think, so I definitely recommend reading it. Do we see what's there? Do we see what's there? Do you know where this is going? Cyrus amuses. If you know anything about me, this is the book that started it all. This is the book that I created this tier for, okay? Because I am not able to tell you a single objective thing. In a way, do not ever fucking read this because this book is written for me and me only. But on the other hand, read it. You have to. I feel abnormally strong for this book. At this point, I think it might be addiction. I think I might be mentally ill, but also, I live and breathe this book. I read it exactly when I needed to read it. Words cannot describe it, so I won't. Daisy hates. Well, it's a book. Now, funnily enough, yet again, a prime example of I did give this higher rating than these four, but like look where they are, you know. This was, honestly, at the time I read it only Powerless, and I was not yet convinced of that much, but you can see that I got convinced. But this was, the plot is a mess. I don't think it's all of the things that people talk about. Honestly, it's messy. Just Hastings' writing is like quote. It's lyrical. It has its moments, you know. But overall, the plot is just messy. It wants to be. It thinks it's too much, you know. Like it not like it thinks it's too much. It thinks it's so much more than it actually is. Like that. The whole plot, like with the mafia and stuff. I'm sorry, but anything of that feels like, oh, you're all dog no walk. Like I'm not convinced of anything. The whole like other relationships in the book, I do not care about them. However, I did find Daisy and Christian very hot. So this is a book because I found them very hot together. So whenever they were together, I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I'm not swooning. I'm not kicking my feet. I'm not like tucking my hair. I like this book, and I do think more people should read it if you like warlocks and like magic and kind of murder mystery in a way. Read it. And Sapphic. That's most important. I liked it, and I think it's definitely an impressionable book and all of that, but I feel like it should be longer for what it is. Like the whole magic system and stuff, I feel like it was just not explained enough. Like for how short the book is, it's kind of like a novella. It should be, for how short the book is, it should have less magic, because I think it's just not explained enough, but I like the other things going on, so yeah, I definitely recommend reading it, but I don't think you're going to be like blown away, unfortunately. A Dowry of Blood. I was put on this earth to promote this book. In fact, I was, yes. Tattooed this book on my eyelids, tattooed this book on my body. I can open it on any page, and I'm like, yes, this is everything I've ever needed, wanted. I feel viscerally about this book as well. I could easily write a thesis on this as well. The moment I was 2 pages in, and I was like, can I give it a rating already? Because I knew it's going to be a 5-star, and I was fucking right. This is, I cannot call it a Dracula retelling, but it essentially follows Dracula's first wife, Constanta, and it's in a form of, I know there's a term for it, but I cannot remember, when it's like letters towards Dracula, and essentially depicts her relationship with him, and how it got controlling and abusive, and how there were other people brought into that relationship, and all of that, and it's, oh my god, it's incredible, there's no other words to describe it. Ooh, okay, but no, let's do it, but why not, let's put it somewhere. You know what, fuck it, I'm going to put it, I could write a thesis on this, because if I really try, I could, I think. It's like, it's yet again a book that it very much differs from this, to be honest. This is very self-indulgent. This is just, I feel for this book, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people probably wouldn't. But if you're a literary fiction person who enjoys following characters and see their life and how they evolve and the choices they make and stuff like that, and how life brings some people together and then pulls them apart and all of these things, then absolutely recommend. But do not ever tell me that you did not like it, thank you. Next up, we've got Belladonna. I'm nothing if not a hater. Now, I can objectively tell you that it's not the worst book ever written, absolutely not. Subjectively, it's just not a book for me that I would be like blown away by. I think I'm intrigued by the concept, but I wish it was handled differently. However, if you want a gothic romance with paranormal aspects, you will receive, so I think you might enjoy it if that's what you're going for. But I had the business time hating this book. Like, I hate read this, and I don't think I'm ever going to read a series and hate it and love it so much, you know, like, I love hating this book. It's so much fun. No, okay, I think the tiers are very much, they're talking to each other, because we've got another book in this tier, and it's The Things We Do to Our Friends. So I'm nothing if not a hater, and this is a prime example of, this does not mean negative or positive, because this is like a positive hating, you know, like, it could be for someone. I just find it kind of ridiculous, so I love to hate it. This, however, is objectively bad. It is objectively bad. I think it has a lot of potential. By God, is the potential wasted? It wants to be on too many things at once, and none of it's fully fleshed out. I could easily write a thesis on this. I think I might, but no. I kind of want to do like a very detailed review, just honestly ranting, because I love to get heated. I love to argue. I love to hate. So yeah. Next up, we've got Hyde by Kirsten White, I believe that's their name. Here for a good time, not a long time. This book has pretty abysmal ratings, to be honest, and I don't think it's all that deserved. It was a very random book that I picked up. It's a horror book, and now, if you do not care much for like the gore aspects being fully fleshed out and knowing every single thing, and kind of like, okay, I'm here for when it's happening, and if you don't really give me answers for why it's happening all that much, I'm fine with it, then I think you'll enjoy this book. But it definitely does not explain why the things are happening. Like, it explains why the characters in that universe. I honestly, I cannot even tell you if it's badly written. Like, it's Steph's story, of course, it's everything to me. But if you don't know the story, I guess you're never going to feel any particular way for this book. But also, why the hell are you reading it if you're not attached, you know? So, thank you. Happy Place. Ooh. Now, oh man, God. Okay, yeah. I am in between three, okay, because I could put it easily into here for a good time, not a long time, because I did not like hate this. I did like what I was reading, I think. Sorry, that was loud. No, I don't think it's finally some good fucking food because it's no, okay, no. But I could write a thesis on this. You know what? Arguably, we're going to put it into good write a thesis on this because the Yapapuna is annoying me there. Okay, you know what? Fuck it. We're going into Yapapuna. Finally, some good food. You know, okay, I know that I'm jumping, but like, I feel so much for Sarah and Emily. Like, I love them. I genuinely love them so much, and I think of them so much. But I was put on this to promote this book, but I don't think I feel this viscerally about them. So you know what? Gosh damn it. Okay, you know what? Finally, some good fucking food. Now, Happy Place. I read 2 Emily Henry books. Okay, I don't think I'm allowed to speak on this really, but it's my favorite Emily Henry book. I did not really feel the chemistry between Win and Harriet, so I cannot say that I felt much for their romance. However, I liked the friendship aspect. I liked, honestly, the topics of kind of finding out whether, you know, you're doing things for yourself or for other people. Friendships kind of, you know, growing, like you're growing up, and friendships kind of fading away, or just having to understand that, you know, with adulthood, a lot of friendships fade, or, you know, you cannot see each other all that much, and having separate lives. And also, I really, really, really wished that this book would be about letting go. It does touch on this topic because Wayne and Harry do break up and all of that. That's not a spoiler, like that's the premise of the book. They have broken up. And there are moments when it speaks about letting someone go, like loving someone so much and, you know, having to let go. And I honestly, that's my favorite part of the book. And I could write a thesis on this because I feel like, okay, this is subjective, right? I wish that it has taken this path because I feel like it's really important to showcase how sometimes we have to let go of the people that we love the most, and that it's for the best. And it had such a nice thing going on, and I wish it did not swerve into this like romance happy ending thing, you know. But I did not hate the book. I do actually wish to reread it sometime soon because I feel like I could feel differently about it, maybe more strongly. But yeah, Our Wives Under the Sea. Now, I could write a thesis about grief and letting someone go. You see kind of a pattern, but I feel like yet again, I did not give this the highest rating. I mean, I gave it like 4 stars, I believe, because I loved the science fiction, paranormal, what do we want to call it, things that were happening in this book, and I really wish to have gotten more of that, like more of why and what is it and stuff like that, which you do not get. And I expected that going into this book, so I feel like that left me a little disappointed. But it's a brilliant book. God, this book, the way that it speaks about grief and yet again letting someone go, but not in the way Happy Place. This is kind of like, well, I have a choice, but I think this is for the best, right? In here, it's about losing someone without ever wanting to and having to deal with that, and kind of everything that you've known just suddenly changing and not being able to really keep it going. And it's a really good book, honestly. The quotes are brilliant. Julia Armfield wrote a stunning piece with this one. God, finally. You know what? Now let's loved hating this, okay? Arguably, why arguably? Nobody's fucking arguing. Objectively, this is much worse than Belladonna. If you are even somewhat interested in Belladonna, I say read it, alright? It's pretty fast-paced, the kind of historical, gothic Regency era, whatever. This, however, gets messy. Like, it follows two storylines and they kind of do intertwine, but it's not the most well-plotted book, and like, it has, okay. I love the, oh my god, what is my voice doing? I'm sorry. I had a great time hating this, okay? Lovely time hating this. But Belladonna is much better. Read Belladonna as a standalone, you'll be fine. In here, my annotations are hilarious, but like, yeah. And last, we've got Icebreaker by Anna Grace. And I'm going to... Okay, wait. Here for a long time or not. Okay, whoa, calm down. Okay, wait. I guess I cannot put it back. Then, either into Here for a Good Time, Not a Long Time, or it's a book. You know. Honestly, I am going to put it into It's a Book. Now hear me out yet again. Watch my December wrap up to get really like my opinion on this book. I did not rate it bad. I rated 3.5. The reason why it's a book is because I think it's way too long. That is, I feel like, objective thing to say. It's way too long for what it is. It is way too long. The smut in this is not. It's not Elsie Silver, right? I'm sorry, but I don't think it's well written. I think it's quite cringy, actually. There's so much of it. I loved the characters. I love the representation in this book, and I care about the characters, actually. Unlike with Daisy Hates, where I do not care about anyone, honestly. Like, yeah, Christian and Daisy are hot, but like, do I give a shit? Not really. I kind of do want them to get it, though. Not gonna lie. In here, I do care about Nathan. I do care about Stassi. I care about Nathan's friends. I don't really care about Lola, but like, fine. But I did not personally feel the chemistry. It felt a little insta-lust, and then it kind of, I don't know, it's like this relationship felt very, why am I giving you a review? It just felt like, okay, this is just like one of the relationships you'll have during your lifetime. With the other romances, just on Springs, I usually felt like, okay, these people are it for each other, you know, these are, like, this is the relationship where you know, like, oh, I'm gonna put a ring on that, you know, and in here, it just didn't feel like that. It felt like one of your college relationships, even if they are, you know, well together. It's just, I don't know, I did not hate it. I'm happy that I read it, but it's just okay. I think maybe a little more than okay, and I don't know, because it was so long, I think that did damage my review, not my review, my opinion. Like, it did harm my opinion of the book, because at times I was kind of trying to get through it. I usually, when I got into it, I had fun time, you know, but yeah, I don't think it's all the things that people talk about. So yeah, this is the list of the books. So let's just go over them one more time and then we'll be done. So I was put on this earth to promote this book. It has If We Were Villains, Red, White, Royal Blue, Sirens and Muses, and A Tower of Blood. Then it's Life is Strange. What did you expect? It has, in fact, Life is Strange, Steph's story in it. Could write a thesis on this. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, Lord of the Flies, Six of Crows, Fantastic Land, Lie with Me, Happy Place, created in the studio today, and that has Eileen. Honestly, I think I'm pretty happy with this. I might take a screenshot actually. Fun. Okay, wait. Nice. So, I think I'm decently happy with this. Maybe if I thought a little harder, we could. But yeah, the first book is just books that I feel very viscerally about. No words needed. Life is Strange. Third tier is I feel very strongly about certain aspects, and just yeah. Honestly, if a book makes you feel that, I feel like all of these deserve to be read. Because yeah, finally some good fucking food. If you want to have a great time with the book, read these. If for a long time not a good time, good books. None of them are anything groundbreaking, but I thought I enjoyed reading them. It's a book. It has its flaws. It could be enjoyable,